Hi, everyone. Welcome to our interactive map of Ohio Rehabilitation Access. This video is to help you navigate and interact with the map to visualize our data. If you'd like to learn more about the broad scope of the project and the data that we use, you can view our introduction window here. And this window will pop up every time you open our app. If you're interested in technical details, methodological details about how we constructed the various indexes, you can come to, again, this introduction window, and you can follow this link here to the technical appendix. That's really just for people interested in the nitty-gritty. Otherwise, I just recommend that you come here to the introductory page and read through that before you get started. So when you're ready to start exploring, you can hit the button here, Start Exploring, bottom right. So now we're in the map. We can see the legend to the right. And if it's not already showing, you want to come over to the upper left side and click on this button here that says Open Layer List. So this will pop up and you'll see that there are three main groupings of different information that we want you to look at. Down here is the Ohio County names. That just tells you, has the county name label here, so you can ignore that and just keep that selected at all times. So we have facilities, underserved and rural, and then we have a group called access indexes. So we're going to start here with the access indexes. You can see that access in there that the first one that's selected automatically is the gap index. Before we start talking about the gap index, I want to point out that we have this main top layer, the group access indexes, and then we have these second layers, and you need to have the top layer and the second and one of the second layers selected in order to view the data. So here, if we unselect the gap index, so none of them are selected, you see our data disappear, our color gradation disappears, comes back, we select gap index. If we come here and we unselect the grouping, the group layer access indexes, that also disappears. So to visualize these indexes, you need to have the top category selected, as well as one of the bottom categories. And that goes for the rural and the facilities groups as well. So now here we're looking at the gap index. The gap index refers to the gap between the county's utilization and the county need index, and it's weighted for the access risk index. Again, if you want to know more details about that, you can check out that technical appendix that's linked in the introductory window. So an important thing to know to interpret, to be able to understand this map is that the darker the color, the worse the gap is. So if we zoom in here to look at these counties, these 6 or 7 so counties down at the bottom, all of these are in the worst 20%, basically, of the counties in terms of the gap index. We can skip over we're going to skip that one and skip to the need index. So unselect gap, select need. And the need index is the same story, basically, as the gap index in terms of how to understand it. The darker the color, the worse the need is. So here again, in a similar area, we have these 7, it looks like 7 or so counties that are have sort of the worst need, kind of down there in the bottom of the state. And an access risk index is the same story. Uh, the darker the color, the worse the access risk is for the county. The lighter the color, the better. Now I skipped over the utilization index because that one is reverse. So for utilization, we have these counties that are white here have zero utilization, and that is worse. The counties, the darker they get, the greater their utilization, and that's better. So for the utilization, it's flipped, and we're looking at the lighter colors are worse. Now, if we hop up to the facilities tab or facility group, you can see that we have the home health agencies tab is automatically selected. Now here you can actually select multiple options at the same time, since these are just little dots on the map and don't cover each other. So we've got home health agencies, inpatient rehab facilities. Now we can add skilled nursing facilities there. It's a lot darker, a lot more crowded. And then add the outpatient rehab facilities. And now we're seeing all of the facilities on this map. That can be a bit messy though, especially in certain areas. So you might want to just view one or two at a time. If you are viewing multiple at a time though, it's important to know that there are different shapes for the different types of facilities. So here, if we zoom in, you can see there's triangles, there's squares. If we add inpatient, there should be some circles popped up there, maybe not right in that area. And then if we add outpatient, we get some diamonds added. And that is all right over here in the upper right side in your legend. So if you're ever unsure, just come check the legend. You can also access the legend under each option there. So here we see the home health agency as a square, circle, and so on. Another thing to note, actually, before we move on, is that some of these facilities are outside of the state of Ohio. We wanted to include facilities that people in these border counties might be using, since they might be, there might be a town that sort of crosses over the border. So those are West Virginia and Kentucky counties, and we just have their facilities there for us. So now we can go to the underserved, medically underserved, and or rural counties. So here, the first one that's automatically selected one is small, rural, and medically underserved. You can look over here at the legend again and see that we're showing this by using a bold outline on the counties. So these counties here, outlined in bold, are part of our small, rural, and medically underserved. Excuse me. It's also important to keep in mind that this means these counties shown when we select small, rural, and medically underserved. That means the county is both designated as a small rural county and as a medically underserved county. Similarly, these are designated as all rural or any rural, small or not small, and also medically underserved. And then these last three options are just so you can visualize them one by one. So just medically underserved, small rural only, and so on. So that pretty much covers what we wanted to show you in this video. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a fun time exploring.